today,
Yeah.
what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making a brand new character. I might use this in the future. You might use this as an NPC. Who knows?
Yeah, we're just doing a basic tutorial thing because, I feel like we need to...
If new people like us, well, you're a new time DM. You've played before.
Well, not a new time DM. I'm
a short time DM.
Long time DM.
Really?
I've been playing this for the past 4 years.
Like DMing for the past 4 years, or playing this for the past 4 years? Both. Oh, so kind of 50-50 on and off, or just...
Yeah.
Alright, that makes sense. And I'm a new player, so then I might need to change the name of the stream. Hold up.
Did you call me a noob DM?
No.
You called me a noob DM. Thanks. No, that's fair. That's fine. But yeah, basically most of the resources we'll be using for character information will be on the wiki.5e 5th edition
website. Actually, here, I can show them.
Yeah, you can just put the link.
Right here, I've got to create this is it, and then I'll turn off this example of the character sheet because we don't need this right now. But what I do have here is the front page D&D 5th edition. This is Wikidot. It's simple. It's an easy layout, so people aren't getting confused by any layouts or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So it's just simple. It's there. So we have that for you here today. And also what we have here, we have a special camera. I was about to say hello to my own hand. Like, say hello, hand. Hi. Like, no.
Look at one.
We have a dice camera.
Sorry.
What you see in the background, I've been working on is dice potions. I'm going to sell them, and I'm excited. Although I love these ones, and some of them, I'm like, don't take them away from me. Like, this one was my first attempt. Very heavy on the glitter. It barely even shows the dice.
Glitter, darling. Glitter.
And then I realized I had to put the thing down, because some of them, if I put them upside down, it absorbs the water through the cork and the thing. But that's not why we're here. Dice camera. I bought a whole bunch of packages of dice because for those. That's why I mentioned the dice potions. So for fun, I'm gonna match the dice to the character that we're gonna be creating. Now I have thought only a little bit about character creation, but basically, I guess let's choose.
Yeah.
Where would you start? Where would you recommend? Like finding a character sheet first?
Okay. Well, when it comes to creating a character, first I'd say you'd have to find an inspiration.
Inspiration.
Like, what type of character? What role do you want to be? Do you want to be like the upfront brute, the brawler type deal? Do you want to be like a martial artist? Do you want to be like a magician or a sorcerer or whatever, you know? Just think of like what role you want to play.
True, but what about someone who doesn't know anything about it? Where would you recommend? Just kind of like making up an OC in your head and finding something that fits, or...
Yeah, you can... It's not going to be exact if you just make up an OC in your head, because you do have to follow the you know...
Well, of course you know a little bit about D&D, like, you know, it's a fantasy-ish thing.
Yeah, just think of things like Lord of the Rings, or like Dungeon Mission. Delicious in Dungeon. 10 out of
Fantastic.
10 out of 10 anime. Would recommend. 10 Pratchett levels of world building. It is so super impressive.
Right? It made me realize how important like cooking is in D&D. Even though like some people don't even think
it like
about
has such a fleshed out ecosystem that it's just mind-boggling.
The ecosystem is one of the main focuses too.
It's on Netflix, so you don't have to pay for a new Crunchyroll subscription.
Yep.
And season 2 is coming like next year, I think.
I think next year fall. Yeah, although it did say next year summer for Only Murders in the Building, and that already came out, like one episode.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
but that's Disney. Only Murders in the Building is different.
So then, I guess let's start and come up with a character idea.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be fantasy, because
actually, just
depending on
adjust my screen.
Depending on how you want it, it can be like whatever. Like if you want to play a noir detective, you can do that as long as it's fine with like as long as you run it by your DM, you know? Because some DMs, they don't want it to be immersion breaking, but like most will just probably be chill with it unless they're like restricting it for a certain, you know? Like if you want to play noir detective, you can do that in a fantasy setting. You can do that in a cyberpunk setting. It's completely up to like the world that you're building. When it comes to creating a character, I'd recommend with talking to your DM, your dungeon master, your game master, whatever you want to say. I'd recommend talking to them and seeing how you can better implement your character concept into the world. It's always great to work with them when you're building a character. But it's not necessary.
This is what I used last time because having information ready and handy is good. Like cure wounds. I used that on myself because I gave away my health potion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I did that, and then I was a race tiefling, so
Speaking,
we'll go further in depth on what that is. But for now, front page of D&D, and here is Krita. I just wanted it ready so that I could use my drawing tablet here because let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Turn this background white. You're not racist. No. Come on. White.
Silly.
Yep. I don't know why it's not. Okay. Well, that's interesting too. How about just... Yeah. That'll probably crash the stream. That's weird.
The best part about D&D, though, is whatever character concept you can think of, you can probably make something that is similar, you know? It's not going to be exact. You can't play 100% Goku. You can't have...
You can try.
You can
add
do
your own
very
flavor
similar
to it.
things.
I saw somebody make Kung Fu Panda and they mistaked him for Goku.
Yeah.
You know?
Because, like, if you want to play, like, a Goku-type character, you definitely want to go Sun Soul Monk. Because Monk is a very martial arts-based class. Like, you
did recommend that for JT.
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to call him J. You did recommend that for JG. Like, we had talked about JBA. It's one of our projects that... Well, not our project. It's a project of JG Animations that we've been pretty involved in. We're voice actors, sometimes concept artists and stuff like that, script writers. And
yeah, I'm kind of a big deal. I'm a voice actor in internet miniseries.
The fact that you sound like Deku. You actually did. I'm like, I gotta play this back for you.
Speaking of which, you can probably play Deku.
You probably could. You could. You could legit.
Maybe not.
Sometimes making your favorite characters is something people like to do for fun.
Yeah, you know.
And sometimes making your own original character, what we're going to be doing today, is pretty fun as well.
You can even base it off, like maybe how your favorite character got their powers is how your character in the game got them. You know.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so then, all right, let's figure out the simple stuff. What do you recommend figuring out before a character sheet? Like age, race, gender?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
we can save the names still last too, right?
Yeah, names are I'm really bad. You know, as a DM, I'm probably never gonna name the bartender, and I'll probably say something stupid like
Fart Buckle.
Fart Buckle. Exactly.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yes. I think we also said rest in peace last time.
Rest in peace, Fart Buckle. We pay our respects.
Tier Griffin. I'm P-tier Griffin. Fuck. You know, just like, yeah. If you want. Oh, no, wait, no, not for characters. Never mind. We have Here to Slay in the corner, and I was just thinking, like, because you said sometimes taking inspiration from other things is great for making new items. Like, their loot, that's fun, you know? Or their weapons and stuff, that's pretty good.
Wait, no, that's not Here to Slay. That's Fool's Blade.
You're right!
The
Here to Slay is so fun, too.
Here to Slay is so fun.
Oh, God.
Also, little critters. I would totally take one of those critters and, like, bring them over to a campaign for, like, either D&D or Root, which is, like, the more cute critters version, you know? But, yeah.
Lemon juice comes from lemons. When we get to town, I'm gonna blow your mind, Mitzi. I forget names a lot. Okay, so let's start with, I guess choosing race would be good because some races have longer lives than others. Age isn't necessarily a thing you need to figure out, but,
It's age will
You
be
can do it
determined
later.
mainly by your race, or
Alright.
as it's going to be called in the next edition of D&D, the 5.5, 1 D&D, as they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
We recommend calling it
they call it species. I personally love going with the Pathfinder way, where it's called lineage. But for now, we're just going to stick to fantasy races. You know?
Alright. Then here on Wikidot, we've got all lineages, or technically races.
Yeah.
This is a species that you can play and figure out. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got Dragonborn, Dwarf. These are all in alphabetical order. They go by common, exotic, monstrous, setting specific, custom, or unearthed arcana. Let's leave out unearthed arcana, and let's leave out custom.
I'd say let's go with one of the basics.
Okay, should we leave out setting specific, like Ravenloft, Eberron, Planeshift, Spelljammer, those type of things?
Well, I said basic.
Okay, so common and
Common.
exotic, technically.
Yeah.
Alright, then let's go. Alright, we've got Dragonborn, Dwarf, Elf, Gnome, Half-Elf, Half-Orc, Half-Wing. There's a lot of halves. Human, and Tiefling. One type of fun, I tried creating all the races as if they had a half. And they would be a half of everything.
Huge
Like, half
page.
Gensai, half Yuan-Ti, half Cobalt, half,
Huge page of this stuff. We came up with some unique names, and then we sometimes just said half and half, you know.
I think we said that for human and halfling. Did we say quarterling?
I think maybe we did
Quarterling.
quarterling with gnome and halfling.
Yeah, that's right. Some of them
Anyways.
were fun, some of them were
But so I'm gonna just put this up to you. What type of character do you want to play?
Okay, so we're basing it off of me then. Like, what I feel like a character should be.
Yes. Well,
Alright.
yeah, just come up with something. Think.
Well, I like pretty characters, so I'm gonna go with a woman, also because I have a hard time drawing men.
Fair.
Buff Caden. Like, we might say a lot of inside jokes. Okay, so let's see here. I don't want too pretty because I want them to be standing on their own. So I'm gonna cross off fairy or anything like that. Fae, fairy. Elf is interesting, but I feel like it's done a lot. And I also already did a tiefling, so I'm gonna cross that off. And I have already done God.
Tabaxi?
Yes, thank you. That's it. Is Tabaxi? Oh, Tabaxi is on here. I didn't see
It's
that.
in monstrous, right?
No, it's actually an exotic, not monstrous.
Hmm.
Because it's just a cat person. It's not like a bugbear or anything like that. But goblins are in the monstrous section and not exotic. So we should count the monstrous because there's like lizard folk and kobolds in there too.
Mhm.
Maybe we should make a kobold. Although dragons are hard to draw. You don't have to draw your character.
You
This
don't
is
have to
something-
draw your
If so, here's a handy website.
I could-
Hero Forge.
Oh, Hero Forge, yeah.
Build your own miniature. Let's not click the sponsored one because that'll turn on my ad blocker. Basically, browser updated supported. No.
It's Opera. Don't worry about it. Just continue. Your computer
Opera
should handle
GX. We are not sponsored, but you should get it. It's pretty fun.
it. It's also a little bit spyware.
If you
but, you know,
here are some.
that's it.
It's not exactly D&D based per se because they call like some of them like
Yeah.
half demons,
Hero-
half dragons,
Hero
half
Forge
Proteans, you know?
Hero Forge is plausible deniability for copyright reasons. It's basically a miniature making website for general purposes, all purpose, whatever.
Yep.
You could make your own Warhammer
You can go all the way
stuff. I
up to
don't know.
color, and then you can either just share it or buy it. You don't have to buy it. It's just good for making characters in general and stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know?
it's a really good website.
I agree. It's fun if you want to figure out what your character really kind of looks like if you can't draw.
Yeah.
Elephant folk. What are those called in D&D again?
Shoot, Loxodon? Is that it?
Loxodon?
Let me search it.
It's the 5e website doesn't have a special species. Like that's why I have a custom section under here because like there are some elephant people like the Kenkus are kind of
They're Loxodon.
you know Loxodon. Right. You're good at this. You remember stuff.
Yeah, I have an unnatural knowledge.
Actually, oddly enough, now that I mentioned the Kenku, I kind of want to go with the Kenku.
Yeah, Kenku, they're basically like little crow.
They are crow people.
They're goobers.
Are they little?
They're on the littler side.
Creature size. You are humanoid. Oh, your size is medium or small. You choose the size when you select this range.
Yeah.
This gives little information, like, your speed, your walking speed, 3 feet, or like
Sorry.
languages. You read, write, and speak common languages, and what other language that you and your DM is appropriate for the character.
Mm-hmm.
So it is important to talk over character creation with a DM. And if you had made a character without a DM, that's okay. Just before you play, just talk to your DM and make sure that you're not using like anything that they have banned in there. Like for some people, what's a common item that DMs would ban that it is an official D&D?
The most common item that people would ban. Let's see. I don't know about items.
Well, items. Then how about like languages? Because it said here, like
why would somebody ban a language?
Racist? I don't know. If your DM is racist, don't. Don't find a new group.
If your DM's a bad DM, then it should show in how they play. They should. If they're a bad DM, they'll railroad and push you into situations that force your character to do things. They'd control the story more than the players do. But a DM's role should always be to just make sure everyone is having a good time. Even if it doesn't go to their plans for the campaign, they should always
try to TKO you immediately,
Yeah.
so you have to sit out on the battle the whole round.
They shouldn't.
Doesn't matter if it's realistic or not. If you're a higher level, then they can do that if they know you can handle it.
Yeah, basically,
It's supposed to be fun storytelling.
your DM is supposed to just be there to have fun with you guys, not have fun on their own and force you guys to be his little puppets.
You are not their pawns.
Yeah. You should have agency in a D&D campaign. However, when you have agency in a D&D campaign, don't be overbearing about it. Don't be unnecessarily, out of character evil. Try to, embody your character. Don't say, oh, it's what my character would do, to excuse everything you do.
If there's a secret path that the DM points it out, you have to roll to see if you check it. You can't just say, oh, I noticed a secret path. It's not what your character knows.
You don't,
the DM told you this,
you
not the character.
You don't metagame things. You don't... if you have information in your own mind, but your character doesn't have that information, ask your DM if you can roll for history to see if your character knows that information.
Yeah.
If your character doesn't, your character
Everyone has
should
brain
act accordingly.
spasms, including characters and stuff,
Yeah, if you know something, that doesn't mean your character knows. If you know, French literature, that doesn't mean your character knows the world's equivalent of French literature.
Yeah.
Your character needs to have that specific skill, it needs to have that specific memory.
I may be a white woman, but if I play Senshi, they don't know how to draw anime, They might actually, I don't know. Well, they know Dwarven runes and stuff, but, that's where a history check would come in. If I wanted to play Senshi, for instance, stuff like that, history check or something.
From the Delicious Dungeon series.
Creativity or whatever, hey, how well can I draw this person as an anime character? That type of thing. But let's get back to Kenku. Let me search up an example of a Kenku. Kenku are crow folk, or raven folk, more accurately, kind of. They look like birds. Look at this little cutie. Goober game.
It's a goober.
It's a little goober, exactly. Sometimes they can be tiny, sometimes they can be big. Look at all these different versions of Kenkus and stuff like that, That's on Reddit,
Okay, but on the topic of Kenkus, my mind keeps flashing to that image every time I think of, a Kenku. The crow, the big ball crow with one leg that just has the caption down with exclamation mark. That fucking...
Let's see if I can't find a Kenku type thing on Hero Forge. Is there one?
Yeah, there is.
Really? What's it called?
Should be. I don't know.
Turtle person, crow folk, raven folk. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't have it on my phone right
now. Look at that. We've got our basic Kenku. I'm going to be using Hero Forge as an example because, honestly, it's faster than drawing. But I will use the drawing thing to fill out their character sheet. So, we've got our race. let's not figure out like any abilities or anything like that yet. But what we can do, we can choose our class right now, right? Or should we choose our background?
Yeah, we should choose the background because the background is basically like.
Oh, I did say female, right? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Lady.
The background is what your character starts with and what their origins basically are.
Like a little backstory.
Yeah,
what do they know?
It's like a little
in-world
backstory
Urban
thing.
bounty hunter,
wait.
guild artisan.
It's not set in stone.
Yes.
If you have a character backstory in mind and you want that, just choose the background that is similar enough to it.
Like, when I decided to play the tiefling, I wanted a carpenter's background and stuff like that. I wanted, like, a carpenter who wants to eventually turn into, like, swords and stuff like that. And I had thought about, like, a guild merchant, guild artisan, those type of things. And, like, a clan crafter. Those all worked for that type of thing. There are other stuff, like veiled merchants. Ooh. There's a bunch of stuff that go into different things, like Spelljammers, Wildmountain, Strixhaven. These are like D&D like made their own story and put them into their book with a lot of extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're going with the base, what they started out with. So let's ignore the Curse of Strahd, Multi-Master, Hillspar, all of these. We're just going to go with common backgrounds. So let's start thinking. Lady Kenku. I feel like this Kenku should be like some sort of.
Well,
they want to be a royal figure.
Okay.
They severely want, like, they have went with their language. They grew up around, like, let's say the Addams family. All right.
Yeah.
Or the Addams family equivalent, and they wanted to be like them, all high poised. You know what? I want them to be an Addams.
I'd say go with...
And the Addams are all about expectations not being like what you think they are.
Yeah.
You think this Kenku is going to be a thief, a little sneaky fella who's going to manipulate you and steal. Instead, I want them to be like a kind-hearted mother who's generous. They love collecting shiny things, but when it comes to the well-being of others, they will gladly give it.
The Addams family is like the opposite of the typical American like household with all the norms and societal pressures.
Husband's weak wife? No, this husband kisses his wife and swoons when she speaks French.
Exactly. It's such a great thing,
I agree. It completely just.
I'm not the fondest of the
American family. The siblings never fight. The husband is the ruler of the household. It switches on that, and I love it. So we're gonna go with what the opposite of what the Kenku would be, because here on the Kenku it says feathered folk who resemble ravens. I cannot speak. Kenku are blessed with keen observation and supernaturally accurate memories. None of them can remember the origins of the first Kenku, and they often joke that there are as many Kenku origin stories as there are Kenku. Some of them paint their genesis as a curse, being a flightless bird doomed to mimic other people's creations, and other Kenku recite cryptic but beautiful poems about their advent being a blessed event and when they were sent to the multiverse to observe and catalog its many wonders.
Okay, that gives some really good vibes, because you're going for the Addams family vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Addams family is very gothic. Like, think Edgar Allan Poe.
Ah, yes.
And, Edgar Allan Poe, who wrote The Raven.
We are making his Raven. No, I'm kidding. I don't know really anything.
Nevermore.
Oh, man. I really don't know anything about it. But, they even give some suggestions sometimes.
On my chamber door. I fucking love Edgar Allan Poe's poetry.
So, we're going to keep the Kenku. Here we go. And we want them to be someone who's aspiring to become a royal member or a royal status by gathering wealth, but a generous wealth. So eventually, I think maybe they want to be like the ruler of a little village, something they can take
like
care
a nobleman, a lord.
Here's the thing. Maybe they cannot have children, so what they want to do is take care of as many people as they can. Hence the motherly feeling. See? This is where you think of stuff. Mm-hmm. So, what background would you recommend? Because if she's trying to gather wealth and stuff like that, what will probably be but still trying to seem poised and elegant?
Well, you said they were raised in sort of like an Addams household type deal,
Yes. Yes, they were.
Well, take that into account.
Maybe an orphanage type thing?
Yeah, take that into account when you're looking at the backgrounds. Think which one would sort of fit this vibe. You know?
They don't want an orphanage per se, because they want to make everyone feel like she is their mother, not like a temporary,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Just look at the backgrounds and see, does any sort of fit what you're looking for?
See, sometimes I'm dumb and I don't know what words mean, which is why it's good to make a character with a like cloistered scholar. What does cloistered even mean?
That means you were very doted upon. That means a lot of people were like hoping for your success and pushing you forward,
gifted
pushing you
child.
forward. Yeah, the gifted child. You were sort of like secluded.
They lost.
Yeah. They lost. Shoot. I think that's basically you were like lost in the Feywild for a while, and that sort of did something.
Is there a background actually that like my parents gave their firstborn child to a witch or something, and a witch had raised me along with other children she had.
You could add the Hexblood lineage.
Where is that?
That may be a little complex for our tutorial, but
Yes.
I
felt like this witch would be something like explore your own interests. Like, that one guy who's like, I have ADHD and I didn't know it until I grew up, and like my sister has a hard time tethering herself, so she has her do repetitive tasks like kneading bread. Where my brother goes nonverbal, he plays Mozart music for him outside by the koi pond, and he watches it until he feels tethered.
Mm-hmm.
And like that lady,
Yeah.
very close to her mother.
I'll pull up the backgrounds on my thing. They lost. Let's see if that would be a good fit for that. I think it might.
Let's click it,
Because witches are sort of fayish.
You grew up in the Feywild after disappearing from your home plane as a child. Maybe you were. Perhaps you were spirited away by a kindly fae who thought you were destined for great things. Maybe another. Would a witch live in the Feywild?
Yes, very much.
Maybe she was a Fey witch.
Well, witches are a type of fae.
Oh, really? Perhaps you were kidnapped by an evil fae and escaped from their clutches. Gradually, you fell under the Feywild spell and learned a little about the mercurial trickers that dwell here. When you returned to your home plane, you did not come back unchanged. You were haunted by the Feywild's mirror world, hid behind a mere twist of perception that's only a hair's breadth away. Although your memories of the Feywild grow fainter with each day, your heart swells with a mixture of fear and joy of prosperous, of one day venturing back to the plane of the fairy. The wild beyond the witchlight is the source of this. But we can, of course, edit it a little bit, because you don't have to be taken or forced to be in the Feywild. You could have just grown up there and grown accustomed. I'm pretty sure a Kenku in the Feywild wouldn't be that weird,
Yeah, it wouldn't be that.
As a language of my choice, I get either Elvish, Gnomish, Goblin, or Sylvian. And I feel like Elvish would be good if there want to be a royal or a noble of high standard.
And Sylvan would be good for a background in the Feywild, because, that's the language of the fairies.
Yeah, I like the Fey Lost. You know what? Let's do that. Ooh, you can even have a Fey mark. You can roll a 1d8, or you can just kind of choose.
Yeah, you can choose roll 1d8.
You have long whiskers like those of a cat. Your eyes swirl with iridescent colors. Your hair is made of vines or brambles and grow back to a normal length within an hour of being cut. Ooh, skin sparkles in the moonlight. Crows have shiny feathers. You know what? Let me pick a dice that I feel like. Sorry if you see this. Let's see it, and let's pick a dice that I feel like would fit this character. Blue swirl one is pretty. This copper blue one kind of hints into and stuff like that, I really like these dice. I already opened them, but I could just use the D4 out of this one if I ever want to roll.
Question, Amir.
I like this one.
Do you have a character sheet right now?
No, not yet. We should start doing that, shouldn't we?
You should get one. I'd recommend just either the classic one or the ADHD optimized.
Alright. Also, sorry if you do see this and everything like that. That's going to happen a lot. So, when I mean this, I mean this. That's going to happen. Alright, so you said character sheet, right?
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's best to figure out what you want before finding a character sheet, because some people like to match their character sheets with their character.
Yeah.
So let's see. Royal character sheet.
Make sure to keep like D&D 5e next to it, because it can be for different TTRPGs.
Yeah, it can be for like Warhammer and stuff. So always search a 5e if you're making a character for D&D. Let me try instead. Let's go pretty. Aha. Of course, you could buy some off of Etsy, but honestly, if you have stuff like this, it's better.
Mhm.
Now, what exactly should we look for in a character sheet? Like, what's some stuff that we should like specifically have and stuff we shouldn't? Because I'm looking at this one. I like it. I might change. Ooh, you know what? I could. Let me copy image so I don't show what's in my files. Let me paste. Download from the remote source. Yes, please. Yes, please. Ooh, okay, let's bring that up here. Oops, not that. Can I even read this? Yes, I can. It's a little blurry, but honestly, that's okay. Whoopsie. Not mean to do that.
But what I'd recommend for a character sheet is you need to have this. You need to have like the.
Player name? What the?
You need to have skills. The skills. You need to have the stats. You need to have the saving throws and stuff. You need to have like.
Something's going on with my Krita. Does it happen on this one too? Yes, it does. Oh, what is going on?
Basically,
When I draw on one side of the screen, it draws on the other. Krita is working.
Yeah, now
I
that
was
Creed is
going
working, I
to-
can stop yapping about Freddy Five Bears and we can actually start,
There we
building
go.
her
I
character.
wanted to adjust the colors a bit so it was blue mostly with hints of pink and stuff. Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's start. Let's write down what we already do know. Like, I'm gonna go with the D purple. Good size for my brush. Player name, alignment. Let's not build color, gender. Female.
Female. Also,
Okay.
this is fantasy. You can be whatever gender orientation or whatever you want. Unless Sir DM is, picky about that and he's gonna be whining about it.
Then make him be Samoan. They have or Hawaiian. They have a third gender, which is technically a combination of the two. This way you can flavor it however you feel.
Your character could have been born intersex or something,
Yes. Yes,
But-
absolutely.
Because it's fantasy, you don't have to be constrained by real life, laws and rules, all that kind of thing.
Let's
you
see
can-
here. We
yeah.
had said Thalos for the background, right?
Yep, they lost. And with the background, there is some information you have to type into the character sheet. Which,
Well, let's start with the simple stuff that we do know. Like, Thalos, alignment you can write if you want, but so I'm gonna do that. Let's go.
I wouldn't go alignment. Alignment. I don't like alignment. Alignment is putting
And let's cross it
it's
out.
putting things into boxes where there shouldn't be. It's making it needlessly complicated. It's like you play your character how you feel like they would act. You don't have to play it according to how
Actually,
your
let's see if
alignment
this sheet is
wants them to
actually a
act.
good idea or not. I'm going to send that sheet to you.
No, it looks like a good idea.
You think? Because okay, you know what? Yeah. If it doesn't have little bubbles for charisma, wisdom, intelligence, dexterity, strength, and constitution, a little bubble inside, then it's probably not. And always having ones where you have like a little proficiencies in and inspirations where you can knock it down, that's pretty nice. I like the way this one looks, Alright, let's see. Should we leave? Well, if I were to use this in another one shot, what level should I say? 2, 3, 1? Or if we're starting this character building from the way up, should I just leave it at level 1 and then adjust?
Yeah,
later?
let's start at level 1.
Is 20 actually the max level?
Usually yes, but you can go beyond that if your DM decides it.
Got it. Okay. We should probably decide stuff that factors into our throws, like class. What class are they?
Wait, go back to the character sheet. There's still information you need to write.
Okay.
Okay. Skill proficiencies from your background.
Whoa, okay. Are you sure already? Some of the proficiencies
Well,
we need to mark out after we have our class.
We chose our background first. And we don't want to have to go back to the background, right?
Okay, well then let me go over here and look at the background. Well, should we do Kenku first and then background?
Well, it doesn't matter which order. It's just like it's up to you.
Alright, so we're gonna go Kenku first.
Okay.
It says ability score increases. Determining your character's ability scores, increase one score by 2 and increase a different score by 1, or increase 3 different scores by 1. Yeah, based on your scores above 20.
Yes.
Now, that we should save for later, right? Or should
Yeah, that should be when we roll for stats.
Alright,
Which
so
we should do before we...
let's not complicate things. Let's leave that out of the way.
We should do that before we do class.
Creature type, humanoid. Is there something on the
You don't
sheet
have
for that?
to... You don't write that down.
Alright, I just figured I'd check, you know? Size, medium or small.
There's nowhere to really write that.
As long as you got that little...
Yeah, you gotta
you'll be
just...
fine.
Yeah, as long as you remember it.
Walking speed, 30 feet. Again.
Yeah, you go to the thing, there is a speed box, which you put 30 in, usually.
Okay.
Unless your race or class states otherwise, your speed will likely be 30. You want to switch over to that and fill it in?
Is there a speed thing?
Yes, I just said there is. You should really take one of those earmuffs off. You can hear me.
Your mouth or headphones. Alright, let's see here. Where are we?
On a,
Temp
tip,
HP, max.
on a typical character sheet, there is one. But I'm not sure about yours.
Initiative and speed. Speed is down here, so we said 30.
Yep.
We write down 30 because it's our base. That can be edited later with like potions and stuff. Right?
Yeah, that can be edited with like class
basically,
features or potions,
that's
yada yada.
Basic.
Mhm.
Alright. Expert duplication. When you copy writing or craft work produced by yourself or someone else, you have an advantage on any ability checks you make to produce an exact duplicate. So basically, they're really good at tracing.
Yes, but a thing like that, you would want to either keep on another sheet because it's so much text that it won't really fit on your sheet, or you'd want to summarize it into your character sheets like like skills and not skills.
There is a features option here, so I'm
Features,
gonna write
that's
that down. But if you don't feel, if your sheet doesn't have this, what you can also do is just make a new layer and just fucking.
Yeah.
See, I just realized I've been
But
writing on the wrong layer.
Usually on the sheet itself, it's going to be too small a space to write that, so you likely want to keep a separate sheet of like loose leaf with you where you can write down little blurbs about your character and your abilities. It's helpful to remember them. You know?
There we go. I'm just level 1. I'm just kind of going over. Copy. Let's just so I can fix the character sheet without it looking too weird, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That could change. I could turn trans. You never know.
Yeah. Fantasy world, you could do whatever, you know?
Yep.
Even in the real world, you can do that in some places. But,
yep.
You know, there's a lot of restrictions.
Okay, so I'm going to write that down.
Kind of shit.
Let's see. The ability was, let's see here, expert duplication. So I can just write that down, and if I ever need reminders of what that is, I can always look it up on Wikidot.
And if you're
I need another reminder. Expert duplication. Thank you.
And if you're working digitally, you can just copy paste it in some scenarios.
Yeah, you can literally just cut the whole thing out and then just like paste, you know?
Mm-hmm. That way you don't need to go to a separate website or anything, you know. Mm-hmm.
Or if your writing is very big, kind of like mine, you know?
Yeah.
Noah writes really tiny. He prefers pens that are like 0.2 millimeters or whatever.
0.02 millimeters.
See?
Mostly because it's just so fine that you can draw and write with. Because in order to challenge yourself, you need to get thinner and thinner pens, right? Because when you're drawing with like a crayon, it's really thick, right? So your mind interprets the lines as you want to see them.
Got it.
You see the lines you wanted to make within the big lines that you did make.
Got it.
And it's much easier to draw with crayons than it is to draw with a pen. So by getting thinner and thinner
Of course,
pens
it
and
is also up
challenging
to
myself.
personal preference too. Some people like the way they do different things, like
Yeah.
wax crayons. They like how like messy it is because they can smudge it easier.
Hmm.
Okay, Kanku Recall. Thanks to your supernaturally good memory, you have proficiencies in 2 skills of your choice. So, what this means is here on this sheet, we have over here a section for proficiencies.
Yeah.
What this means, doesn't inspiration also count as a proficiency? Like if I did acrobatics, would that be a proficiency?
Acrobatics is a proficiency, but what about inspiration?
Because here, just on this character sheet, it says inspiration under proficiency. So I think it maybe means both, like inspiration and proficiency. I think they also say
I think
that.
you can add inspiration to your proficiency, but like I'm not sure. I don't really know the rules on inspiration that well, but it shouldn't be like filled out as a proficiency.
So what I'm gonna do here, we can change this later if something conflicts or whatever. But let's see, I get to choose 2 of these. So what I'm gonna do is fill out a little circle for the one I want. I don't want intimidation. I want maybe performance. Performance might be fun.
Yeah, these are your skills.
I'll
Basically,
fill out a bunch and then I'll whittle them down to 2.
these are your skills. Basically, they are what you are good at. Like if you fill out one of those dots, that means that you're pretty good at that specific skill. You have experience in it, and you're more likely to succeed at it than one of the other skills that doesn't have a dot filled out.
Yeah. I'm just gonna fill out all the ones I like, and then I will whittle it down to 2. So right now I've got performance, animal handling, medicine, perception, survival, history, investigation, nature. I like the idea of acrobatics.
There's plenty of opportunities in character creation to get proficiencies, so don't worry about it too much.
And the ones that say saving throw over and over again, you just ignore those.
Yeah, if it says saving throw multiple times, you just
Just ignore.
fill it out once.
Let's whittle it down to 2. Performance, I feel like she would be a great hostess. And that's what she's going for. So for performance, that makes sense to me. Animal handling, I just imagine her petting a horse would be fine. But I feel like that's not what we're going for here. So let's get that out of the way. Medicine, living and growing up with a witch, medicine would be a good thing. And taking care of others, that would be a big help. And stuff like that. So I'm going to leave that for now. And I might whittle it down. You know?
Fair.
I'm going to put a little maybe check next to it. They say don't take something unless you're 100% loved.
See, Amaris is making it a little bit more complicated than it normally would
I
be.
have ADHD. I have a hard time
Yeah,
deciding.
this is easier for her, but if you just have 2 skills that you think you want, go for them.
They don't even have to be backstory relevant like me.
Yeah.
You know?
Just go for them.
Perception, noticing little things, probably something they would have, like, they have crow eyes. They might do that, you know? Who knows?
shine.
Survival, they grew up in the Feywild. That makes sense to me, but they might already have that with the background. We don't know, you know? But honestly, keep there the maybe, because I'm not too sure.
They do have it with the
History.
background.
You know what? I'm not really feeling history. Investigation, they're curious. I feel like that would be another good one. Let's put that under maybe. Nature, grew up in Feywild, but of course, let's leave that. You know, acrobatics, that might be interesting to have, but honestly, I don't know. No, let's not have acrobatics. Athletics,
That's like strength feats, pushing and pulling things.
okay, thank you for the definition. Then I'm going to...
Oh, pause.
Alright. So, we're on, but you can talk. Sounds fun. Alright, that sounds fun.
And you're going to match tomorrow.
Oh, yay!
We're bringing a lot of them.
Yay, awesome, sweet.
So, can it be done by 7? So we can
We can be done by 7.
hot dogs. And
Yeah, we can be
We'll
done.
try and wrap it up. Alright, no worries.
Awesome. And pick something up. So we still get out a campfire.
Yeah, we still have campfire time. Yay! Alright, perfect. Alright, thank you.
Yep. Alright, so
That's awesome. I'm getting a new mattress. My old mattress broken. There's a spring growing up through it, so that means I get a new mattress. And we get
Okay.
to go to campfire.
just figure out the two that you want,
Okay,
really quick.
I whittled the because I definitely want this one. I want performance. That's nice. You know what? I kind of like the idea of medicine because that would also have been taught by her mom. You know?
Performance and medicine. Alright.
Let's keep those two. Medicine and performance. That's pretty good. Alright, then let's see. There was more to this Kenku recall. Moreover, when you make an ability check in any skill you have proficiency, you give yourself advantage on the check before rolling the 20. Now, what does advantage mean?
Advantage means you roll the dice twice, and you pick the higher option.
Pretty cool.
You pick the higher number.
I should write advantage here, too.
You should write it in your, in your...
Proficiencies?
Is that what it's called?
There's a proficiencies.
In your features.
Features. Proficiencies, features. Okay.
Yeah. It would go there. Just remember to use that. Yeah?
Now, what's that called? I get advantage.
We might want to keep this a bit hurried, you know?
Yeah. Proficiency on advantage on proficiency skills. Let's see what else it said here. You can give yourself advantage in this way, number times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
That's a very common thing that happens in this. Your proficiency bonus is determined by your class, which we
Okay.
will get to in a minute.
Alright. Mimic cry. I can accurately mimic sounds I have heard, including voices. A creature that hears the sounds you make can tell their imitations only with a successful wisdom insight check of DC of 8 plus proficiency bonus plus charisma modifier. We don't have to write all that down. We just write down mimic cry, and if we need to figure out what it does, we go back to the wiki. Whoops. So, let's put that in features. I don't think I spelled that right, but whatever. Languages. I can read, speak, and write the common language and one other language that you and your DM agree is appropriate for the character.
Sylvan. Right? The fairy language?
But that comes with Phalos. So would that mean I would know 3
It does
languages
come with-
then?
It does come with Phalos? Hold on.
With the Phalos, because it said languages, one of your choice. Elvish, Gnomish, Goblin, or Sylvan.
Well, yeah, but you can choose those. You know?
One of your choice. So Phalos
Yeah.
means I can choose one of those. So that would mean I have Common, Elvish, and it says if you and your agree and one other language that you and your DM agree is appropriate for the character. So let's write down real quick. Is there languages here? Yes. Common, Elvish. Let's see here.
And we wanted Sylvan, or are we going...
Well, let's go and check out the languages real quick. So, make a new tab. Where are we here? Spells, races, backgrounds, classes, items, feats, racial feats, miscellaneous. Let's try miscellaneous. It might be in miscellaneous. No. If you can't find something on the wiki, that is okay. Whoops.
Google it.
There's a search bar. There is a search bar at the top here.
Oh.
Languages.
I don't know if that's going to work.
Site is temporarily unavailable. Yay! Okay, then what we can also do here,
Yeah. Ooh.
instead here, what we're going to do, we're just going to Google it. You're right, Noah.
D&D languages 5e. That would be your most reliable search. Because 5e means 5th edition, which is the edition of Dungeons & Dragons most commonly played today. You know?
Alright. Standard languages.
Include Common, Elvish, Dwarvish, Halfling, Gnomish, Giant, Goblin, and Orc. Your character can also learn exotic languages, such as
Not sure where you're looking for this. But
Abyssal, Celestial, Draconic, Infernal, Deep Speech, Primordial, Sylvan, and Undercommon.
okay, so I might be on the same one you are. Oh, let's see. Is there any typical speakers of some of these? No. Fey creatures do tend to speak Sylvan, but I already have Elvish.
They are
So-
very similar languages, but you grew up in the Feywild, right?
I did grow up in the Feywild, yes. So
I mean, it's up to you.
the Feywild is basically mystical magical forest. That's what
Yeah, think Alice in Wonderland or like, uh, you
No,
know,
Alice in Wonderland's a pretty good idea. You know, imagine it as all sparkly.
yeah.
I was gonna say Cookie Run Kingdom Beast.
You go through like a rabbit hole, and you come out in this vibrant, bright world that's as dangerous as it is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's basically the Feywild.
Fairyland. Yeah.
And it's full of fairies. Or you walk through a mushroom circle, and you get cursed for all eternity by the fairies because you walk through their mushroom circle, and they don't like that. Good advice.
Is it a language
generally-
that kobolds speak?
Draconic.
Draconic. I was thinking about Draconic, but I was also thinking about like a goblin. That might be interesting.
Yeah, goblins speak goblin.
Hmm. Maybe we should figure out something. Species with my mother. Were they a fae? But you said some faes can be witches.
Well, hags. Those are what I mean by witch. You know,
Got it.
and they're fae.
Got it. You know what? I'm just gonna choose. Let's go goblin. Whatever, right?
Yep.
Let's choose goblin here. That was one of. Yeah, I can do that. You, as a DM, you agree that's fine?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm leaving a lot of this up to you.
Goblin. Got it. Lots of room for improvement and stuff. Okay, let's see. There's a follows guide to monsters down here, but we're not.
That's a
gonna use
different.
that.
That's a different version of Kink.
So ignore all of this.
For
you
now,
know, thing.
unless you want to choose that version of it, but then you'd have to
Because
run
we
that
have
by
a
your
little
DM.
bit more detailed stuff, like Kenku have shorter lifespan than humans or something
Yeah.
like that, you know?
It-
So we're gonna ignore that, but we're done with the Kenku. So let's go on to the Phaelon, right?
Yep, they lost background.
Skill proficiencies, deception and survival. So that means over here, deception, and let's see here, survival. Not all of these do you need to use. So if you don't want to deceive people, that's fine,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But you can.
School proficiency.
One type of musical instrument. That's interesting.
Yeah. You could play a pan flute, a harp, or any just general whimsical instrument. You're not going to find anything by searching in that bar.
Yeah, I thought I'd give it a shot. Oopsie. Nope, I want to keep the lost there. Let's open link a new tab because at least I might be able to find it through bar or miscellaneous. Let's go.
I'll find it for you, Amaris. I have an app on my phone for that.
We do.
Yep.
Oh, fun.
If you have a Samsung phone, go for. You can find a bunch of like really good ones for these. You know, 5e items is really good for it. Let's see.
Oh wait, items. I think there's a thing up here for items. Items. Yes, there is.
Instrument. Here we go. And find my item. Oops.
I think it's adventuring gear, might be.
There we go. Bagpipes, bird pipes, drum.
What are bird pipes?
Let me see. That's just a pan flute.
Okay.
Drum dulcimer, which is a. What is this? I actually don't know what this instrument is.
It's a lute thing. I feel like
A lute?
might be
Yeah,
interesting.
that's
Because I feel like they have a hard time playing like flute or something.
a lute is basically like a fantasy guitar. It was a real.
Or a lyre.
It was a real instrument. A lyre is different than a lute.
How is it different?
A lyre is more harp-like. A lute is more guitar-like.
Then we'll go with the lute. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Then let's see what else we have here. Languages. We already got that. Equipment. Musical instrument of one choice. Alright, let's write that down real quick. So, let's see. There is an item slot. Weapons and...
You already wrote down your language, right? Your third
yes,
language?
Common, Elvish, Goblin.
Okay, and then the equipment would be the musical instrument.
Yep.
And then a set of traveler's clothes.
Well, hold up. Let me write down loot, right? Set of
Mhm.
traveler's clothes. would I put that in with armor or no?
Not with armor. That's just your clothes. Armor and clothes are different.
CLOTHES. I do not know how to spell sometimes. Here, what was the other thing? 3 trinkets, each determined by rolling on the Feywild trinkets table. Now, where is this?
Feywild trinkets.
Ooh, a D100.
Ooh.
Now, that is a dice I do not have, but
You have 2d10.
yes, so what I'm going to do here. Oh my god, why is my camera not focusing? It's not nice. But this dice here does not like to focus for me. Basically, this is a D10. And it has like 90, 0, 0, 2, 20, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So,
And there's another d10 which has single numbers, right?
yes, it's very similar shape. It goes 0 to like 9.
And 0 is technically a 10.
Yes. So, then what I can do, instead of having a D100, I roll both of these and determine what the number is. So, let's see here. That is a 9 and a 40. So, that would be 49. So, that's what we're doing. If you don't have dice, I should say this. You can always look up online dice. And the term D means dice. And like D10 means 10-sided dice. So, D100 would be a 100-sided dice. So, we got 49. So, let's go back and let's take a look-see at what we have here. 49. A silver spoon with an M engraved on the handle.
Ooh.
Okay. That would go in equipments, would it not?
Yeah, probably. It's just a random trinket you have. It's not really gonna affect your in-game stuff that well.
You know?
Mm. You could use it to eat, you could wash it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Then on it. Alright. Then we need to roll twice and 2 more times here. So since my camera is being a butthead, I'm actually gonna roll on here. Let's type in D100 roll. See what comes up here. Roll a D100. Roll a die. Here we are. So 1 to 100-sided dice. You could also change it to like 10-sided dice if you want to, but we're gonna keep it a 100-sided dice. So let's roll here for our second item. 96. Okay, so what does that mean here? Trinkets. Oh, 96. A black pirate flag adorned with a dragon skull and crossbones. That is
Ooh.
interesting.
That's cool. Another character you could technically play, you could play one of the Straw Hat Pirates from One Piece. You know? Luffy.
I'm going off the sheet because
Yeah.
I wrote play instead of flag. There we go. Much better.
Sorry, I got carried away.
Okay, then let's get our third item here. Roll it. 1. Just a 1. Okay, let's see where the...
A
what
mummified goblin hand.
Is that what... A mummified goblin? Oh, God. The fact that I speak goblin, too. That could have some lore if I wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're completely within your right as a character to make lore about, like, what you have, why you have it, all that kind of stuff. You know?
Maybe in the Feywild, goblin limbs are considered like rabbit's feet.
Yeah.
Who knows? It doesn't matter if that's canon or not. I could just headcanon it. Or maybe that was something in my family.
However, if you want an item that your background or class doesn't give you, I'd ask the DM.
Yes.
Just ask your DM, and if they say yes, if they say no, it's... Yeah. Basically, just don't ask for anything that's too broken or overpowered. Like, don't ask for a One-Punch Man fist or
Yeah,
something.
no.
Or don't ask for, like, Sword of Ultimate Doom Annihilation
Ring
that
that
does
turns you
every
invisible,
damage.
or anything like that. You could if you had it flavored right. But
Yeah.
Like,
The DM has to be fair to you and all the other
And
players.
the last thing we get from equipment here is a pouch containing 8 GP. GP means gold pieces.
Mhm.
So, is there... Where do I keep my currencies? Here we go. 8 gold. There we go.
Yep.
Perfect.
And that'll likely be most of what your character sheet will need from your background. However, if you want, you can go down and take the suggested characteristics and put them into your personality traits, bonds, ideals, and flaws.
Okay. Well, let's look at features real quick, because I want to do that. Feymark. You were transformed in some way by your stay in the Feywild and gained a Feymark, determined by rolling on a Feymark table.
Yeah.
Now,
These are mostly like flavor based. Like
so
they
I
don't
could either choose one of my own, or I could roll the
like
right?
they don't really affect what's it called? They don't really affect any numbers in game, which usually drops it into flavor, which is a term used to describe something that is like how your character
It
does
gives a
something.
little bit more of humanity to the character, you know?
Like if your character can make an attack that's just like a blast, you can flavor the attack. You can tell your DM that you want to have the attack
It's like those
look
cats.
in a certain. Can I explain this real quick?
I was just wondering. You
I
were saying flavor, right?
I really want to like explain flavor in a way that makes sense because it's something that really trips new players up sometimes. Flavor is it doesn't affect the numbers, it doesn't affect the math. But if you're like casting a spell such as Fireball, you can have it so that
You're like a
it
wizard.
looks a certain way. Like maybe you summon a ball of fire in your hand and throw it, or maybe you just snap and it leaps from your hand into a certain to a certain distance. Maybe if you cast magic missile, you can say you flavor it to look like three
Like a bird.
falcons flying from your fingertips.
Yeah.
And you could flavor it to look like, actual bullets. You could flavor it to look like arrows. Those are things that don't affect the numbers. If it doesn't affect the numbers, it's probably flavor. If, like,
Okay,
it's completely rolled,
now question. For stuff like your skin sparkles in the moonlight, would that make me have a disadvantage on stealth?
No, it's flavor. It doesn't affect the numbers. That's what flavor is.
I mean, if you wanted to.
If you told your DM, hey, I want disadvantage on stealth, why would you do that? I don't know. But you could do
Or
that.
like long whiskers like those of cats would have a better time sensing like when storms are coming or wind or animal handling or animal speak.
Ask your DM.
Alright.
If your
Let's
DM
roll a
if your
D8.
DM says yes, then it's okay.
We got
But I
8.
wouldn't ask for anything too powerful because it has to be fair for all the
Yeah.
players.
You have a tail like that of a dog or another animal. I think you already has a tail.
Yeah.
So
tail
my
feathers.
thing is, of that of another animal, what tail should we give them?
Peacock.
Peacock tail.
That was,
Oh my god,
okay.
that would fit so well.
You don't have to.
I like it though.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
just threw that
suggestions come in Great.
I just threw that out there. If you want to do that, that's pretty cool. We do need to hurry up because 7 is approaching rapidly.
But I'm a female. Well, of course, the Feywild is mysterious in many ways. Maybe I am trans. Yes.
And yeah, we do need to hurry up because 7 is.
Then let's skip the Feywild visitor. It's like a spirit of the Feywild may pay you a visit in your dreams or whatever. If the DM wishes it, let's skip that.
It would probably be the witch anyway.
Feywild collections. They are inclined to come to your aid if you're helped or lost in Feywild. We can skip that too. Suggested characteristics. Again, suggested.
I would skip the suggested characteristics.
Then
Those
we are done with the Fey lost.
okay. Just to explain the suggested characteristics, those are the things that you put on your character sheet to tell to just tell how your character would act. You can
Yeah.
read them over if you forget how your character would act. Basically, they are like little blurbs of information on what your character believes, what your character knows, all that kind of thing.
Let's get into the Good stuff. Let's get
Okay.
into
Roll your stats.
classes, though.
You need to roll your stats before you pick.
I need to roll my stats before then?
Yes, because it's important on how your class works. You know.
Well, then I'm going to switch back to the dice.
I would recommend knowing what class you want to pick before you roll your stats, but you shouldn't actually start working on the class before you roll your stats.
Okay, that's
Like-
interesting.
Know what you want to be, but don't put any work into it before you roll your stats.
Well, then should I know what I want to be first before I...
Yeah.
All right.
What do you want to be? You want to be a noble, right? Because that's your background or whatever. You want to be like...
Yes.
Yeah. So, look at all the class.
Here's a little mini list here.
Look at the
Artificer, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Paladin, Ranger, Sorcerer, Warlock, or Wizard. Those are the basic ones.
Mhm.
There are probably some other classes out there. But let's choose. I feel like either Sorcerer or Wizard would be fun.
Mhm.
Sorcerer or Wizard. Let's see here.
Sorcerer would be less.
You know what? Yeah, then let me look at what the Sorcerer's definition is. Carry a magical birthright conferred onto them by an exotic bloodline or some otherworldly influence, or exposure to unknown cosmic forces. That works with the Feywild.
Yeah.
No one chooses sorcery, the power chooses the sorcerer. And let's click sorcerer. So we know we want to be a sorcerer. So what are
Now-
things we should keep in mind when we roll? What would be better for a sorcerer?
For sorcerer, you need charisma and, well, likely charisma and constitution. Most likely going to be your most important stats.
Okay, we'll explain what those do later on when we roll. But for now, let's
Now, we are on to rolling stats.
D6?
Yeah.
D6.
Okay, here's how you roll stats. The typical way you roll stats is either 3d6 or the more balanced way, which is 4d6 and drop the lowest number.
I like
Where
that.
you
So
get rid of
I
the
already
lowest
put
number.
up 4d6s up here. So what
Yes.
we're going to do is we're going to figure out what we're doing. We're
Also,
going to
if
roll.
you don't want to put it up to random chance, there is a system called point buy. I'm not going to get into that.
No, that's
but
too
it's-
complicated.
It's
That's-
not that complicated, but it is a little bit of mental.
Let's roll. 5, 2, 4, and 3. And you said when it comes to rolling 4 dice, you drop the lowest number, right?
Yes.
So let's get rid of 2, and let's add up the other 3 numbers, right?
Yes.
5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. So I'm going to write that down here.
Yeah.
I'm
Hold
just
on.
going to write it here for now.
Hold on to the numbers.
Because you don't
and
want to immediately put it somewhere when you can get a better number for a
Yeah.
stat that you want.
Just hold on to
Hold
the
on.
numbers and arrange them when you get all 6 of them.
You have to roll 6 times to get 6 numbers.
Yeah, you
so
have to roll
here's our
the.
next roll. 6, 6, 1, and 2. That's nice. Okay, so let's
That's-
drop the 1. 6 and 6 is 12, and 2 is 14.
That's
Wait,
pretty
that's-
good.
Yeah, 14, because we dropped the 1. So, let's 14. Let's roll again.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what is the highest number you can get when you roll? So
Uh,
3 6s, right?
yeah, that's 18.
18. Got it. All right. So here, 2, 2, 4, and 5. So drop one of the 2s. 5 and 4 is 9, and plus 2 is 11. So
Mhm.
we've got 11 here. Stats can change as you grow.
Yes, stats can change as you level up.
So if you're unhappy
Typically-
with how you placed it later
Yeah.
on, you can adjust it.
Typically, every 4 levels, you get a stat increase, or you can choose what is called a feat, which is like a feature that, adds. It's a non-class based feature, you know?
All right. Here's our next one. 1, 4, 4, 6, 5, and 1. So drop the 1. That would be 5 and 6. 4. That would be 15. I just took this minus 1. So 15. That's a pretty good roll, I'd
And-
say.
And for average, your average person has a 10 in their stats. That's just the
That's
average.
an average roll. So
Yeah.
if you get something under 10, don't feel too bad.
Yeah, if you get something under 10, it's okay.
You can play into the
you
character.
can't
Like
you
they're
can't
not
be good
very
at everything,
strong,
you know?
Here's another
If yeah,
Boop.
because
one.
the whole point of having a party, right, is you fill each other's weaknesses.
6, 5, 5, and 2.
Ooh,
No, that's pretty good.
That's
10 plus
16.
6, that's 16. That's a high-end roll, you know?
Yeah, that's rather high.
We have one more roll left. We're doing pretty good on
Yeah,
rolls. We've got
pretty
all
good
about
rolls.
10.
That's why I like the 46 because it gives you
It
some.
gives you a chance.
It gives you some decently balanced ones. It gives you some. It tends to like sometimes go in the higher end depending on what dice you use, but it's.
All right, here. 5, 2, 6, and 3. So minus 2, that would be 14.
Okay.
All right, so we've got 2 14s, 1 11, 1 5, 1 12, and 1 16.
Okay. So here's how these stats work. When it comes to stats, every two
Stats are
every two numbers is a plus, you know? 10 and 11 is 0. 12 and 13
You're
is
confusing
plus.
me. What do you mean?
Uh,
Let's write down the base numbers first. And then we adjust,
it would
right?
be easier if I should. But I can't.
Okay. Well, let's see here. Cha is charisma.
Mhm.
Wiz is not P. It's wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Int is intelligence. Dex is dexterity. Str is strength. And con is constitution.
Yes.
What does charisma mean?
Charisma is your general demeanor.
Likability and
It's your
personality.
likability, your personality, your character. It's your ability to. It can be your ability to.
If you
like,
see here, they
to-
are separated by the saving throws here.
Yeah.
So that means if you need to figure out what to do, charisma, deception, intimidation, performance, persuasion, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that can either be used for
A more modern day interpretation of charisma is Riz.
Yeah. That doesn't. I mean, bards do use them to seduce dragons, so you can use it as a seduce.
Yeah, that's the
feature,
typical
you know?
joke. That's the bard thing.
Mhm.
The joke is that bards will seduce dragons.
They will anything really.
Yeah.
Okay. Wisdom. That falls under animal handling, insight, medicine, perception, and survival.
Yes. Wisdom is your street smarts and your perception. Like,
Yep.
if you can hear, see, smell, whatever, anything around you, that's part of your wisdom. If you
And
can,
I feel like I'm gonna want charisma and wisdom to be.
if you can understand
something
certain, if
Yeah.
you can understand like the way of it, like
the way the
insight.
game.
Insight. If you can
Yeah.
tell somebody's lying, that's a
Oh,
wisdom.
insight. No,
That's-
that's intelligence, not insight. What am I thinking?
Well, insight's a wisdom skill, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's in there.
It's like telling if somebody's lying.
Yeah, it's right there. Okay.
Intelligence.
Intelligence, Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. So basically, stuff that you know, like
Yeah,
stuff
it's-
you learn from reading books. If you're a nerd or not, you know.
It's memory and it's knowledge.
Yes. Kenkus, I believe, have
Yeah, Kenkus
yes.
have great memory.
Yes. So that's in there somewhere. So we'll come back to that. Dexterity, acrobatics, sleight of hand, and stealth. So basically, bodily
Yeah,
stuff that
it's
you can control.
it's like yoga or like acrobatics, like
Flexibility and skill.
like think the people who do all the flips in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it does come into play more often than you would think.
Yes.
Strength, athletics, or strength, like a strength check. Basically, how strong you are, how
Yeah,
physically
it's
strong, how much can you
How much
bench,
you
how
can
much
push,
can you lift.
pull, lift.
Damage, would that count as?
Yeah. How hard
How
you
much
punch.
damage? Yeah. And Constitution, it doesn't have.
Constitution is your endurance, your stamina, your ability to take
Long thing.
take hits or alcohol. If you drink, why are you looking at me? If you drink poison or alcohol, it's how well your body responds. How constitutive you are is how
good your immune system and your
yeah how likely you are to get sick. You know.
Yeah. Okay, so then I'm pretty sure I want to go higher in the charisma and the wisdom categories. So I want my wisdom to be higher. So for now, I'm just gonna write these numbers in here as they are. 16, so let's cross that out. These numbers will change later, so don't worry about that. Charisma, what's my next highest one? 14? No, it's 15. Ooh. Alright, 14 and 14. Now, I'm not that strong, but I do feel like growing up with, like, witches and stuff like that
Mhm.
would help a little bit. But on the other side, medicine would have, and, like, would have been handy. But
Um,
I would have gained better resistance to diseases in Feywild.
as a sorcerer, you are gonna want to focus on charisma for your highest.
I have it as my second highest, but only by one.
Okay.
So I'm going to actually go with my Constitution as one of my 14s, actually. Just because I feel like I would have a high resistance to poison and stuff like that,
Mhm.
That kind of stuff. Intelligence, I also want pretty high. So I'm going to go with 14. Performance, I don't have to be flexible to give a good show, but I will probably want that higher than strength. So let me cross out the other 14 here and 15. So I'm going to go 12 here and 11 for strength. So let's delete these numbers because we don't need them anymore. There we go. Perfect. Now let's make this fast. Kanku, let's see here.
You get a +1 and a +2, or 3 +1s to any stat you want. As of Tasha's called.
Are we going to Tasha's Cauldron?
I'd say yes.
Okay. Let's see. Have one score increased by 2 and a different score increased by 1, or 3 different scores by 1.
That's
Yeah,
what
that's what she said. Yeah. I just had to read that there for myself. So let's see. Let's go 3 scores by 1, I think. So I'm gonna upgrade my wisdom to 17. I want my intelligence higher, so let's make that 15. And yeah, we might as well update our charisma because he said that's important too. So let's go
Yes.
charisma with that. Let's see. Is there anything else? No. Phalos. Is there anything in the Phalos that helps with this? Skill proficiencies, deception, survival.
No, there shouldn't be.
No. Sorcerer. We are this class, so this is the complicated ones. We are this class. We're not going to
Yes.
do multi-classes or anything because
Yeah.
we're level 1. You want to multi-class
Mhm.
into something else? That basically means your secondary typing for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically it. But you have
Okay.
to be higher than level 1 because you can upgrade each one individually.
Okay, so let's see if we can do this fast. So, does your character sheet have something called a hit dice box? Like, just a thing that says hit dice?
AC, armor, initiative, failure, temp HP, max HP, hit dice. Yes, it does. See,
1d6
that was, where did you find that?
in the sorcerer class features.
1d6. 1 6-sided dice.
Okay. Now, your first level, right?
Yes.
So, your hit points at first level will be 6 plus your constitution modifier. What is your constitution?
Where did you find this 6?
It just says it in the class features.
Oh, got it. Hit points at first level 6 plus my constitution. Now my constitution, here we
Your
are.
constitution modifier, which will be based on your constitution number, which I didn't get to because you sort of didn't let me explain.
What's a...
Okay, so the modifiers, right?
Mhm.
Every 2... Okay, so you start at 10, right? That's the basic average stat.
Yeah.
You... Every time you move up 1, it's...
Oh, I think I understand. It's 10. So that would be plus 2 because 14, so every second number, right?
Yeah.
After 10.
So
we start at
11
10,
is still plus 0.
Then 11,
12
0.
is plus
12,
1. 13
1.
is plus 1. 14 is plus 2. if
So
that-
it goes up every 2.
yeah.
So since my constitution is 12, I have a plus 2.
Wait, your constitution's 12 or 14?
14, sorry.
14, you have a plus 2.
Yes.
So
Where do I write this?
your hit points at level 1 is 6 plus your plus 2, since that's your constitution modifier.
My hit points plus 6. So this determines my HP, right?
Yeah. So you have 8 total.
8.
Okay, so I would write down the number for every one of your stats, which is like the every 2 things is another plus 1.
Okay,
So I'd write the pluses somewhere next to the number.
So, what do you want me to write on each? Just +1 on everything? Explain it again.
Your stats. So every two
Yes.
you get another +1
Yes.
away from 10.
So I do that for every one of them?
Yes.
Okay. So let me write here +2 for Constitution. Strength, that would still be 0. Dexterity, that
Tell
would
me
be
the numbers
1. Okay, Constitution is 14, so that's 2.
Mhm.
Strength is 11, so that's 0.
Mm-hmm.
Dexterity is 12, so that's 1.
Yes.
Intelligence is 15, so that's 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom is 17, so that would be 3, right? Okay. And charisma is 16, so that would be +3.
I believe so.
Yes. Because 14 is 2.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we have those here.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we can continue on the sorcerer thing.
Yes.
So we don't need hit points at higher levels since we're just +1.
Yeah, we're level
Now,
1.
proficiencies. You have no proficiency in armor, but you have proficiency in daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaff, and light crossbows.
I believe I have a proficiencies thing. So repeat the thing I do have.
Daggers,
All right.
darts,
Oh, hold up. Daggers. Darts.
slings,
Slings. So David and Goliath.
quarterstaffs.
Now, what is a quarterstaff?
It's a big stick.
Okay.
It's just a long and straight stick that you swing around and hit people.
Okay. Architected they make it so. Oh, Cassie spells me.
Yeah, it could be a staff like that.
Yeah.
Light crossbows.
Light crossbows. How interesting. L-I-G. That's how do you spell light? L-I-G.
L-I-G-H-T.
Light crossbows? Is there
Yeah.
anything else?
No.
No.
You get proficiency in Constitution and Charisma saving throws.
Okay, so how do I
There should be a thing that says saving throws, right? And
look here?
you just mark that off.
Saving throw. Oh, right. Right. Okay, so what do I have it on?
Charisma and Constitution.
Charisma and Constitution. So basically, that lets you roll twice.
No.
Better. Oh no, that is my advantage on proficiency skills that I have.
Those are skills proficiency, not
Yes,
That-
not the actual.
saving throw
Throw.
proficiency.
Got it.
This would be a good time to fill out proficiency bonus because in the sorcerer it says your proficiency bonus at level 1 is +2.
Okay.
So you should fill that out. And what that means is that any of the stats that you marked a little dot next to, any of those little skills that you marked a dot next to, you add +2 to whatever base stat it has. Like if it's a dexterity skill, you add the dexterity plus, and then you add the +2 from the proficiency if you have proficiency in that specific skill.
Okay, so I have deception and performance and charisma. So that's +2 there for charisma.
What?
You said add +2 if I have any proficiency.
You don't write down the +2, you just keep track of it. If you have the dot, that means you add the +2 from your proficiency.
Okay. Well, where do I write down this? Passive perception?
There should be a box that says proficiency bonus.
Proficiency bonus. There is not, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write that down right here. +2. I'll write that down here.
Okay.
So that would be good to keep in mind if you're grabbing it.
Speaking of skills, you do get to choose 2 from Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, and Religion.
Okay, so start with the first one. What?
Arcana. Basically magic.
Oh, so I get to choose one of those ones that you said. Okay,
Yeah.
So,
Arcana is basically like your understanding of magic.
okay.
And your ability to
Find
manipulate or
Arcana.
see it.
Alright, you said Arcana what?
Deception,
Deception. I already have that.
Insight.
Insight. Where is that?
You choose 2 from these.
I choose 2. Oh, how fun.
Choose 2 from them. So
Got it. Where's the
you
other
don't
one?
choose all.
Other ones?
Intimidation,
Intimidation.
persuasion,
Persuasion. Oh,
and religion.
religion. Okay. Well, right off the bat, let's give it a deception because I already have that. Religion, I don't really feel like. Arcana, insight, persuasion, and intimidation. You know what? I could be really funny here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go intimidation and persuasion. Now, what this means,
Charisma stats.
everything in my charisma is marked out.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's funny. I like that. I would have been a good bard. Okay, perfect.
So now we go to equipment, which you get either a light crossbow with 20 bolts or any simple weapon.
Well, let's go with the crossbow because
Yeah,
we're running low on
we're
time.
running really low on time. Actually, we're 2 minutes past.
Yeah, light crossbow. Where is my weapons?
Nice. A component pouch or an arcane focus, which both basically are your things that allow you to cast spells.
Okay, so what was that?
A component
pouch
pouch
arcane
or an
focus.
arcane focus.
Now, what is a component?
Basically a pouch full of a bunch of components that you use to cast your spells. These two are sort of interchangeable.
Okay. Then I'll take arcane focus.
And a dungeon
That's under weapons?
equipment.
Equipment.
And either a Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's.
Arcane focus, was it?
Yes, arcane focus. Under your equipment.
And what was the last
It's not the last one.
one? A Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's pack?
Yes.
I like Explorer's pack. That
Okay,
seems
that's
to have.
fair, yeah.
Alright, so equipment too?
And
If you want to figure out what this stuff has, you can go into D&D books and look at it.
yes. Or onto Wikidot. Wikidot is a really powerful resource in this. 2 daggers. You also get 2 daggers.
That would go under weapons, right?
Or equipment. Either way.
Alright, then let's see. What else is here?
And the rest is spell casting for that, which is basically you just read it and I'm not about to
My
go through.
spellcasting ability is my 8 proficiency plus charisma. We'll skip the spells for now.
Yeah, you
We
should.
can do a part 2 to this if we ever felt, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Or
You're,
like how we had done in the first part of our one shot. I
Yeah.
figured out my spells after, you know?
do you have your spellcasting ability things? Do you have blue boxes for that?
Spell save DC, attack bonus, weapons, features.
Spell save DC. That's 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your charisma. So 8, 9, 10 plus your charisma.
8, 9, 10 plus my charisma?
Yeah.
Modifier, so plus 3? Or
Yeah, 13. 13 would be your spell save DC. Which basically means that if you cast a spell that specifies the DC is used,
yes, it's right here. So 13?
the enemy who is contesting the DC will have to roll 13 or higher.
Whose magic is stronger?
Yeah, basically.
Alright. Alright.
Mm,
What else do we need to figure out here?
Spell attack modifier, which is your proficiency bonus and your charisma modifier, which should be 5.
Okay, what did you just say? What is the thing called?
Spell attack modifier, which is your proficiency bonus and your charisma modifier.
AC? No, attack bonus?
Spell attack modifier. If you don't have a box for that, that's fine. Usually you don't, so you usually write it under your features.
Okay. And what is it?
It is 5 because it is your proficiency bonus and your charisma modifier, which is 2 and I believe 3.
Okay, I'll trust you on this because I can't figure out what you. Go. Alright.
And now it is the sorceress origin, which you get at level 1 for a sorcerer.
Ooh.
So that means that you have to choose from Aberrant Mind, Clockwork Soul, Draconic Bloodline, Divine Soul, Lunar Sorcery, Shadow Magic, Storm Sorcery, or Wild Magic. I'll explain a brief thing about each of them.
Well,
Aberrant.
the ones I'm interested in are wild magic and shadow magic, or lunar sorcery.
Yeah. Okay, lunar sorcery and wild magic would probably be your best bet if you're going for Feywild, because the shadow magic is from the Shadowfell, which is like the anti-Feywild.
Got it. So let's see what lunar sorcery is here. Clicking on it.
It's a little bit complex, and you have to keep track of the phases of the moon in game. Basically, you get different spells for what phase of the moon.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, then I will go with lunar sorcery.
Yeah, let's see what it has at level 1. We shouldn't go
Shield, grave sickness, or
we shouldn't go too deep into it. Let's see. At first level, you can call down the radiant light of the moon on command. You learn the sacred flame spell, which doesn't count against the number of sorcerer cantrips you know. When you cast the spell, you can target one creature as a normal target, or two creatures within range that are within 5 feet of each other.
Actually, should we save this for next time?
Yes, we're basically done for...
But I'll write down lunar sorcery.
Wait, we're not basically done. Your AC. We need to figure out your AC. So, it says you have no armor, which basically means your AC is 10 plus your dexterity. What is your dexterity modifier?
My dexterity is +1.
So, you have an 11 armor class.
11 for my armor class. Okay.
And your initiative. We should fill that out. Which is...
I don't have proficiency in light. I just have normal. Do I have disadvantage at light?
You don't have armor proficiency.
You're right.
So, I do believe your initiative will be a +1.
Okay, initiative
Yes,
is +2. I'm at 15.
What?
That's intelligence. Whoops.
Yeah, your initiative is your dexterity modifier.
My
So
dexterity. Yeah, it's +1.
it's a +1. Is there anything else that's not filled out?
Conditions.
What? I think that's like...
That's in actual gameplay. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's in actual gameplay. If you're like knocked down, you're prone, or like petrified, or like afraid,
Okay.
or charmed.
Initiative.
That's the +1.
Oh, okay. So I'm
Remember?
gonna write that down. +1 armor.
Wait, armor? Like not armor class?
Oh no, it's probably the same thing.
Yeah, because armor class, you don't have any armor. So you're an 11.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then there is something else up here. I know
Yeah.
that
When you're not wearing armor, it's 10
attack bonus.
plus your dexterity. Attack bonus,
I don't think I get one since I'm super weak.
that would be your spell attack bonus if you're using magic. But if you're not
Can I
using
have spell and safety?
if you're not using magic, it's strength.
Okay, so then
And
0.
unless you're using a finesse weapon, which allows you to use dexterity instead.
Got it. Build.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. They have build here.
Build?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Like how skinny, how strong, how like body.
Okay, yeah,
You know?
that's not really gonna affect gameplay, but it's good.
Player name. Amaris. That's nice to have. Alignment. Let's skip that. XP. We can do that later. Name. Let's come up with the name for this character. We can deal with spells later because not every class has spells and stuff like that.
We could name her after the Edgar Allan Poe thing, the Raven, because the Raven
What's the name of
spoke of Lenore, the main guy's lost lover, who died.
them? Okay.
The Raven sent as an angel of Lenore, rap tap tapping upon my chamber door, yada yada yada.
Never mind. They say they're not crows, but rather ravens.
Well, that's what I said, the Raven. From Edgar Allan.
Oh, it is a raven. Nevermore is literally the name of it.
Nevermore or Lenore.
Amora would be nice. Or
Lenora?
Amor, like mi amor.
Yeah,
Would be
Amora.
interesting. I like that.
Mi amor. When the moon hits your eye like a big piece
How should we
of
spell
pie,
it?
it's
Amora?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spell it how you want.
Middle name?
E-
We don't have to have
we
a
don't
middle
have to have a
name,
middle.
you know? But
You can also have a last name if you want.
yeah, I do feel like it. Maybe some witchy last name. Or fey last There is an actual thing you can look up, like
Yeah.
a D&D book.
We should probably get going.
Yes. Well, let's at least come up with a last name. Chica. No.
Barbara.
Barbara. Amora Barbara.
Barbara Streisand.
Her middle name could be Barbara, and her last name could be something starting with C, so her initials are ABC.
Ah.
I like that.
Amore. Barbara.
Amora Barbara.
Crow, but CROW. Even though they're right.
I'm not too keen. Celeste, since maybe her sorcery. Amora Barbara Celeste. No, Amora Celeste. No, doesn't quite ring off the tongue.
What is something that?
Starts with D.
C.
Kangaroo, but starts with C. No. Chandelabra. Candelora. Candle.
Selene. Like the goddess of the moon.
Amora Barbara Celine. I like that. C-E-L-E-N-E. Instead of S-E-L-E-N-E.
Yeah.
C-E-L-E. I like this. I might play this character.
And with that,
I might actually play this instead of Edith.
Yeah.
Edith is my other character.
I do like the concept of Edith. And I did a lot of work on it. But you can play whatever you want. Anyways, with that, I believe we are done the general character making.
Yep.
All that's left to learn is spells. And
Yes.
that can be another episode.
That could be a whole
The
new other sheet if we want.
The
to
basics
right now.
of spells in you know.
Yeah. Death saves. We haven't played anything, so I have a failed death.
You don't
Failure.
use death
I haven't
saves
done
unless you're
anything
playing.
like that.
You don't
So-
use temporary hit points unless you're playing either.
Nope. Current HP and max HP, just both 8.
Yeah, both are 8 right now because you
Yep.
haven't played the character yet.
Yep. Then that's everything. I only have 8 gold. I have silver spoon. And I have a pirate flag.
Yeah.
Maybe
Here.
she's interested in finding out the history of this thing because it has washed up in the water that she lives, like a hut near the waters. I'm imagining Minecraft. All right, then that is going to be it here, folks.
Yeah, that'll be it.
All right, this sounds great. I am excited to actually use this character. Maybe I need to find a D&D group and actually use this. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. I just like the characters. I want to use them. I might draw them later.
Yeah.
I might draw them. I imagine them having a purple blue sheen to their feathers. With a little.
Like,
Oh, we were gonna roll for a physical characteristic, weren't we?
well, we shouldn't because we have to go. And
What is
I can hear through the
Oh, I
floor.
have the dog of the tail of another animal, right? Peacock, right?
Yeah.
We already determined that, right?
And I can feel through the floor Mom's getting things.
I can hear that. Yes, she's excited to go. So I'm excited to go too.
Alright.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Then that is going to be it, folks. We are going to head out and we are going to enjoy a nice campfire. And should we do spells on another podcast? We can do that as just a short one on like any
Yeah,
day of the week.
we can do that as like a short little summary before like our continuation of the one shot.
Yeah.
Because you know how we did the previous character building before there, and I sort of helped you out on that.
Can I play 2 characters at once?
Maybe we can get somebody to play the crow.
I'm so
I know.
All right. That is it, everybody. We will see you later. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.
See you later, everybody.